Welcome to Dungeon Crawler Video. I'm Jack Jackal, and this week's tape is the 1989 deep sea terror that is Leviathan. A film by who?
George R. Cosmatos.
George R. Is that how you say his name?
That's how I say it.
All right, we're recording?
Yep.
Leviathan, with Peter Weller, Richard Crenna, Amanda Pays, and Hector Elizondo. Wonderful special effects. Box office. Plunge into this go-for-the-jugular sci-fi thriller starring Peter Weller and Richard Crenna, featuring non-stop action, nerve-shattering suspense, and awesome creatures from the Oscar-winning special effects wizard who brought dinosaurs to life in Jurassic Park and The Lost World. This terrifying underwater adventure will scare you senseless! I did that in one breath. On the dark and forbidding ocean floor, the crew of a deep-sea mining rig discovers a sunken freighter that harbors a deadly secret. A genetic experiment gone horribly wrong. With a storm raging on the surface and no hope of rescue, the captain and his team are propelled into a spine-tingling battle for survival against the ultimate foe. A hideous monster that cannot die and lives to kill. With each exciting chase, narrow escape, and mind-blowing special effect.
Singular?
The suspense rises to a new level of heart-stopping terror. Gripping and imaginative, Leviathan is a white-knuckle thrill ride that will leave you gasping for air and clawing for the surface! It's a little indulgent, but...
I was gonna say do the cast again and try not to pronounce Hector Elizondo's name like you're so white.
I am, though. They made Peter Weller's face look so good in this.
What are you trying to say?
Well, it should also be noted that Ernie Hudson and Daniel Stern are both in this movie. They're not listed on the cover, but super important. Before we get into the plot, Stan Winston worked on this movie, and he is a really heavy hitter with movies like Aliens, Terminator, Jurassic Park, Congo, and Parasite! One of our favorites. His creature design in this movie is incredible, and I wish it got more screen time. It's one of the best things about this movie. There's a deep sea mining crew. This is set in the future. What year is it set in?
Jesus.
What year is it set in?
Wait, I don't know.
What year is it set in?
I'm not in that part of
Oh my god!
This is not giving me a fucking... There's a lot of other shit that comes out.
Alright. So this movie is set sometime in the future, 1989's future. There's some sophisticated deep sea mining stuff that they have that all looks very cool, but is kind of hard to understand what it's doing, and they obviously are very optimistic or naive about what the future looks like, which we see in tons of movies already, as it is. Peter Weller is some kind of geologist, and he gets chosen to man this crew. And everybody is kind of like, this guy kind of fucking sucks, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's trying his best. He's reading some book that's like managing for dummies or something. They seem to be working on very long shifts where they've been down there for months at a time.
God, it would be just my luck to finish 2 months worth of work 2 miles under and have the whole place fall apart with just 3 days left.
Also, someone that we just talked about, Megan.
Megan?
Megan.
Meg Foster.
Meg Foster. Is her name not Megan?
Do you know each other like that?
I mean, I kind of wish.
She's just credited as Meg always, so
Meg.
I don't fucking know.
Well, then she doesn't like to be called Megan. Meg Foster is kind of like the CEO of this company, and she just, almost the entire movie is only appearing on a screen. She has this very strange accent.
Things are beginning to move very fast now. If you're having a problem with him, we need any help.
I don't know if she's doing it or that's how she actually talks, but it's a very strange, slow, transatlantic thing going on.
An accident, but it got blown all out of proportion.
Honestly, I wish that I had her office. If we could green screen me with her sick as fuck office that she's in all the time with
Vaporwaves.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I also like that she is sitting at a desk and will turn and do the poised fingertips together to talk to the crew.
Yeah, there's a lot of this.
Yeah.
Do you think you can get this for me?
Well, as first officer of the shack, it's your call.
And also the like trope of smoking a cigarette that you've literally just lit and putting it out like immediately.
Yeah. Peter Weller's hair. That's it. That's the comment.
It is there. Unlike in RoboCop.
Hey, he's got it. I don't even know what they're mining. There's like a bunch of shit down there where Peter Weller, the geologist, is like, yeah, I knew that there would be this down there. And I'm like, what is he just says words and I'm like...
When I told the director of Atlantic Operations that we had to stick a geologist down there and turn that mine around, I had no idea that you were going to prove me a genius.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, Martin.
It's also just crazy how similar this is to The Abyss, because The Abyss is also on a experimental deep sea mining.
Yeah, this is a movie that came out during a time where like 4 different movies were all... Let's talk about what's under the ocean. Let's talk about scary things in the deep sea.
The Abyss.
The Abyss.
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Deep Star 6.
Deep Star 6.
Lords of the Deep.
Lords of the Deep.
The Evil Below.
The Evil Below. That is more than 4.
Yeah.
That's 5.
I said it was 5 or 6.
I said it was 4.
Oh, okay.
The movie starts out with a very claustrophobic, kind of freaky scene where a dude's suit starts malfunctioning on him and he can't breathe and he's just running out of air real quick. Hearing him breathing is scary. Like, it induces anxiety, but also you see him and he's just like... They can't find the doctor. The doctor is just fucking off somewhere.
There's a note on his computer that's like, back in 5 or like whatever, and you're like, what? Like, you're the only doctor.
Spoiler alert, the dude's fine. He's okay. But he's very freaked out and everybody's kind of giving him shit about it.
That would have been you, DeJesus.
Sets the whole stage. This is a dangerous operation and people are uncomfortable with Peter Weller's management style. You're never really sure how big this fucking base is, but it honestly looks just like the base on the planet in Aliens.
They shot it dry for wet, is what it's called.
Ew!
And...
Wait, are we recording this?
Yeah.
This was shot dry for wet.
Why it looks so bad when they're in the suits. Like, they'll be talking.
15 to Shack, this is Jones. I ate the hook.
7 to Shack, I'm the hook.
Their expressions and mannerisms don't line up with what they're saying.
Hey, Willie, you trip on a tit or something, we're all waiting on you, honey.
No suck on a shrimp 6-pack.
Because they shot everything in slow-mo. So it makes them look like they're heavy underwater. And they use the, like...
Just like what they did with the moon landing. Stan Winston's studio helped fake the moon landing?
In Kubrick's back pocket, they designed the helmets to cover up their mouths so that the actors wouldn't have to really act.
Stan Winston does it again, baby.
Yeah. The particles in the air where they burn some specific, like, campfire burner shit that creates, like, some ash.
Hey, dry for wet.
That's what you get.
That's dry for wet? That's what you get.
Also, they built the suits with billows in the feet so that when they stepped, it would out.
Yeah, I had those when I was a kid.
I'm sorry that I did not, but...
Oh, you didn't have moon shoes when you were a kid?
No. I'm the youngest of 4 children.
Yeah, that means you get all the toys. I'm the oldest.
You're wrong about that. Anyway.
Yeah, so there's like a little prank that just like establishes their dynamic.
You know, I just thought a little humor might loosen things up.
Where Daniel Stern is kind of a fucker and everybody's like, alright, fine, like, somebody in a suit picks up like a fucking like evil sea crab thing that must just be something from the future. He goes to bed to crank his hog and discovers it under his pillow.
He's pissed and he yells at that woman in front of everyone.
Yeah, he really screams at her and he's like, I'm gonna shove this thing down your throat! Peter Weller offers them all a day off if they can meet their quota sooner rather than later.
What, are you giving us the day off?
Looks that way.
They suit up, they get in there, and fucking Daniel Stern decides to go off on his own.
God, he's gone over the South Ridge.
And discovers a sunken Russian ship.
Leviathan.
What?
Leviathan.
And he found a bunch of shit inside this ship, and they all bring it on board. And that's where the trouble starts, because they find a bunch of weird files, they find vodka, videotapes, and, just general Russian Cold War era shit.
I'm shocked you didn't make like a Daniel Stern taking the safe or whatever from Leviathan, like real wet bandit behavior. Ha! Thank you.
That's very funny. Do you want to be the one that said that, or should
I just did? That's going in.
He gets reprimanded.
So now you're down for 2 counts of safety negligence for risking William's life for going on that boat, possessing restricted material.
And you can see the obvious tension between Peter Weller and Daniel Stern, and also Daniel Stern and pretty much everybody, because he's kind of an asshole.
The most important thing he finds in the safe, though, is the vodka.
There's a bottle of vodka, and then there is a flask. Daniel Stern keeps the flask for himself. Peter Weller is like, there's no drinking on this operation. I'm gonna hide this.
I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops.
And he dumped all of it out, replaced it with water. They figure out a way to steal the bottle. Everybody gets to drink from it except Amanda Pays.
Ah, not for me, thanks.
Because she's training to be an astronaut.
My astronaut training starts in 2 days.
Forget Space Cadet, I'll drink hers.
She has to go for a jog.
It's so futuristic, but there's like such like rudimentary shit in there. Like they keep referring to this area as the swamp, and it's just like kind of wet, and there's just grated steel everywhere.
Like there's not a treadmill on here?
Everybody tries a sip of this water, realizes it's water, and they're all dismayed that Peter Weller duped them. But Daniel Stern has his flask, so he goes back to his bed to crank his hog and drink some vodka. So Daniel Stern wakes up sick the next morning. He can't work. The doc's looking at him. He's got some weird fucking rash. He's got chills. He dies, like, within a day. Inside the case that they lifted off the Russian ship, there's also a videotape that's describing things that have happened to the crew members, and...
My infirmary's filled. The doctors on board tell me it's like a tropical infection.
An unknown illness is going through the whole ship, and everybody's, like, starting to die.
But it's not like anything I've ever seen before.
The doc on this ship, along with Peter Weller, decide, let's not tell everybody about that. Everything should be fine.
I can't get bent out of shape just because some people got some jungle rot and ended up dead in a barge in the bottom of the ocean.
Not knowing that Six-Pack drank some vodka from the ship. It is shortly after discovered that the Russians sank their own ship for some reason, and it was after this illness developed on the boat.
I think that ship was sunk on purpose.
Could you please use the actual vocab word for what it means when you sink your own ship on purpose?
Scuttled.
What a silly word to be like.
Yeah, what's the
You annihilated your ship and your crew. Oh, we scuttled it. Also, another similarity with the Abyss, Soviet shit.
Yeah, because, I mean, around that time, everybody was just scared of being nuked.
Yeah.
Not a lot's changed. Nobody's told anybody else that Daniel Stern's just fucking dead. And then this other lady with the red hair, whatever her fucking name is.
I'll call her Reba, because she looks like...
Yeah, Reba McEntire over there. She starts getting sick too, because she had a little sip.
Things rapidly progress.
Yeah, she gets scaly, her hair starts falling out, she's puking everywhere. Amanda Pays is trying to help her out.
Also, their, like, love story is so confusing.
There's just tension. There's no love between them yet, but Weller is going for it. He wants it, and he's like... Cut to a bunch of shots of him just looking.
And her as well.
At things. Yeah.
She's enamored with him.
Yeah. She wants that hair.
So...
At one point after Peter Weller goes out, Ernie Hudson comes in, and he sees Daniel Stern's body on the table. He's like, I just wanted to tell you, like, Becky came out and helped us, and it was, like, pretty cool. Like, I'm starting to like this guy. And Daniel Stern's body starts, like, slithering around and moving. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're sleeping. I'll let you guys... Like, obviously, he's in the doctor's office. Like, he's sick.
Also, clearly totally covered up by a sheet. Like, like his whole body had included.
Yeah. He's covered up as if he's a dead person. Later on, Bowman, a.k.a. Reba McEntire, comes in.
Six-Pack.
She wants to check on Daniel Stern and see how Six-Pack is doing. And she discovers that he is in fact dead. And then she realizes that, oh shit, like this is probably going to happen to me too. What's next?
She kills herself.
Oh yeah!
That part's so fucked up because it's just out of nowhere.
Everybody's looking for Reba. They're like, where'd she go? Like, she kind of like ran away. She's all fucked up. And then they find her in the shower, and she did not want to turn into whatever she saw under Six-Pack's sheet. Which apparently nobody wanted to see what was under his sheets for most of the movie.
Is that like a joke? Like,
yeah, because he was all horny. He was trying to fuck everybody.
She was kind of flirting with him. They had a booby moment.
They had a booby moment. Let's get a booby moment counter. What? Boobs are mentioned once.
Yeah, but they're in this movie because there's a woman. At least one.
Doc is ready to go. He's like, you know what? This sucks. We got to get the fuck out of here. Let's evacuate the crew. Beck calls up the Megan Foster. Meg Foster? So sorry.
I keep calling her Megan. It's funny.
Beck calls up Meg Foster and he's like, there's something wrong. Stuff looks weird. People are starting to get really sick and die. Get us out of here. In order for them to get out, they need to be picked up because they're in the middle of the fucking ocean. She's like, well, there's a hurricane, so we can't pick you up. Sorry. And he's like, oh, fuck. I don't see that on my weather communications. And she's like, well, it's happening, so trust me. There's definitely a hurricane. He's like, okay, well, we gotta wait 24 hours. And he tells the crew, and they're all like fucking freaking out, obviously, because that's terrifying.
We're on hold for the pickup. There's a hurricane maybe rolling into this sector.
A hurricane?
Yeah, we're delayed 12 hours.
Doc wants to check out what's going on, so they take Reba's body to the sick bay with Daniel Stearns. Unbeknownst to everyone else, those two squirming dead bodies start melding together and becoming Leviathan! I should have done a Leviathan! So Beck and the Doc discover that this mesh melding fish thing happened, and they're like, get this the fuck out of here. So they wrap it up in a sheet, they get the crew to help. The sheet starts moving, everybody starts fucking freaking out. They get most of the blob out into the ocean, but some of it stays back and escapes. So everybody's kind of freaking out. They're like, what the fuck did we just see? So they're all just trying to wait out the storm to get the fuck out of there. This guy, Tony, who loves skiing and puzzles, who almost died in the beginning of the movie, he's trying to work on his puzzle while they're just trying to wait out the storm. Ernie Hudson's character is not being cool towards him and like kind of smashes his puzzle, and it's like really upsetting. Tony goes into the kitchen to like make some food. Ernie Hudson comes to apologize, and he's like, let's finish this puzzle together. And right before Tony leaves the kitchen, the fucking creature comes out and grabs him. Everybody starts freaking out.
Okay, we'll go get some help. I'll be right back, okay?
They lock Tony in the kitchen. They're like, no, you're not coming out. I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to die in there. They're trying to figure out what to do. They try to get everybody together, and by the time they get back, he's gone. And then the panic really starts. Like,
that part is my favorite creature part. I feel like that's what Stan wanted to happen in Parasite.
This is a great progression we're on, where Parasite happened and Stan Winston was like, I can do better. And he did. Great job, Stan Winston, if you're still alive. If you're not, still great job. It's fine.
He's not.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So, the creature now, with Six-Pack, Reba, and Tony, are all combined now, and they're after blood. Quite literally, because they go to the medical bay and eat all the blood. So Peter Weller's like, well, if this thing likes blood, let's get some of mine and let's set it out somewhere for this creature to suck up. Then they get the flamethrowers.
I'll do my best.
I just want to talk about
I just want to talk about the fucking flamethrowers. They're so cool.
Talking turkey.
And unnecessary. It's too wet in there.
There's no point for a deep sea submersible to have 4 flamethrowers.
You can't fire bullets in there. You're going to pierce the hull, and then you're going to have a situation like those fucking billionaires in the ocean. Sorry. So then we get into the part where, like, similar to The Thing, the Doc decides to just, nope, nobody's leaving, no communication, no escape pods. We all need to die in here. And that sucks.
Cobb is the next one to get it. Hector Elizondo, which I think is one of the other coolest, not specific to the creature shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we get a cool teeth hand going when Cobb gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they start really panicking. Obviously, I mean, if you could panic anymore, they were. They contact Meg Foster again, and they're like, please get us the fuck out of here. Like, this is terrible. And she's like, well, the fucking storm is still going, so You've actually got to wait longer now, maybe 36 hours? I don't know. They start getting suspicious of this hurricane that keeps getting worse, and they go and try to check any of their other communications, and it doesn't work. So they somehow are able to check their stocks and the news about the company, and it turns out that their stocks are starting to plummet.
Stock of Tri-Oceanic Corp took a bath on world markets today when news of a tragic mining accident was revealed to investors.
And the remaining members of the crew realize that this news is about them, and they've just been signed to death by Meg Foster. The Doc gets it. He turns into a fucking monster too, and becomes one with the creature.
Oh.
Now we're down to Ernie Hudson, Peter Weller, and Amanda Pays. They have the brilliant idea to get into their mining suits and use compressed air to lift them up to the surface, because they don't believe that the hurricane's real now. There's an anxiety-inducing chase scene where they have to go through all these like different chambers, and there's doors being held open, and they have to like jump through these like slowly closing areas, and there's a fucking creature behind them, where now we start really seeing the creature. And my favorite shot happens. Tony just somewhere on the back of this fucking thing, just begging for death.
My God. Jesus.
It's so terrifying, but so fucking cool that they just like got this dude's face all, kill me! It's so fucking, it's awesome. And so they get to the suits, and they're making a daring escape. They get in the water, and they're going up, and there's worry that you're not going to make it up to the surface in time. They spend a little too long on that, but they also spend a little too long on it in the front end too.
Them going through the station to get to the suits was the only part really of the movie that I was like, all right, come on guys. Like, everyone's moving pretty slow, and Amanda Pays isn't really the best like action performer, no offense. But there's like parts where she's supposed to be in peril, and she's just like slowly being like, ah.
She was trying her best to Sarah Connor and not Sarah Connoring.
Yeah.
They do get out, they get to the surface, and guess what? There's no fucking hurricane. Beautiful blue skies. Then we get like a weird shark scene. Like, for no reason.
I forgot that. It is just like, why?
Yeah, there's no reason. They were like, well, we're out here, we might as well get some shark footage. For some reason, even though like it's already reported that the crew died in an accident, they're sending out helicopters to search for any survivors. So there's a helicopter circling, and Peter Weller fires a flare up into the air, and they're seen. The helicopter comes down to pick them up. Amanda Pays. She gets up into the helicopter first, and Peter Weller is making his way over towards the helicopter, and the fucking creature comes up. It gets Ernie Hudson, and that sucks.
It sucks the most because it's like the last like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Everything, optics, is, I don't know, you're gonna kill a fucking black guy like in the last 5 minutes. Let the two white people get away. Like, come on. Like,
subscribe to our Patreon where we describe racism.
Yeah.
So Ernie gets it. Peter Weller is like trying to escape. He's like, I gotta fucking kill this thing. He's got one more flare left.
Say hi, motherfucker!
Just the best.
He
literally does a jump shot.
Yeah,
like
he gets it. And it's good. And it goes directly into the thing's mouth. Up until this point, this movie had a lot of different moments in it where you're like, okay, this is one of those movies. It's fine. Like the Abyss was very, very serious compared to this. They really were just like, yeah, fuck it. Like let's have him do a jump shot and say motherfucker. And he kills the creature, and it's great. You know, it's like the Jaws ending of just the thing fucking exploding. And then the second really bizarre way to end this, like, you could have ended it right there.
Yeah.
You could have ended it with the thing exploding, but you didn't. You decided to end it with Peter Weller and Amanda Pays in the middle of the ocean on some rig. Meg Foster comes over, and she asks how he's feeling, which is a bizarre thing to do. And he tells her.
How do you feel?
Better.
QCD on the microphone. Girl, you got me in the zone. Come on, let's start the game. Break it down, tell me your name.
Her role was supposed to be played by a man. Like, it was written
You
to be
think
a
that?
dude.
Was
no,
it?
no.
Is that true?
It's factually, it was written to be a male character. And then they changed it, and I think they just kept. They were like, "Yeah, fuck it, still punch her." And I was like, "All right." I think it's a fantastic ending after the lull of walking through. The thing is really slow because he does the "say ah motherfucker" jump shot, and then he punches her, and then does a little handshake. Like he's like, "Oof, my knuckles! I punched that woman so hard." And then it's over.
Yep. Then the movie ends. Most people are dead. One woman is unconscious, and Peter Weller and his astronaut girlfriend are walking off into, not the sunset, because they can't get off the rig. I'm gonna give this movie 4 bones.
Hell yeah!
I don't know if I want that to follow a woman getting punched in the face.
It's gonna.
No, don't. This movie is definitely 4 out of 5 bones for me. I have owned this movie for a long time, and I fucking love it. It's worth a couple watches. There's a lot of things that you don't pick up the first time. There's a lot of like really goofy stuff in the background. Literally just watching for the technology, the suits, the underwater suits, like just looking at the set and all the stuff like that they put there for you to not notice is really cool. The creature design is insane. I love it so much. The idea itself of this movie is like pretty creative, and while it is like overshadowed by a movie like The Abyss, completely different movies. They're both great. This one didn't do as well, but it's fucking awesome. Some of this stuff is just too fun to not watch.
I feel like The Creature was not done justice.
It wasn't. I've said this multiple times, but this creature needed to be on screen a lot more. That's like a complaint of mine about this movie. They didn't show the creature enough. They didn't do enough with it. I think it would have been more fun to really, really like give us more of the people that it gets forming together. I think that would have been a fun avenue to explore.
But the only time they fully showed it is in full sunlight, which I hate.
Yeah, that was an odd choice. Yeah. It would, if there was a hurricane, that probably would have been pretty cool. There were some choices that weren't the best, but it's a fun movie.
If you got assimilated to be a part of the Leviathan creature, what part of the Leviathan creature body would you want to be?
It's fucking sorry. Ernie Hudson, you're still looking great. Daniel Stern is a sculptor and he's doing cool stuff.
He seems cool shit. Yeah. His Instagram is a joy to follow. Ernie Hudson's awesome. Ernie Hudson talked about this band Carnwood one time.
Hi, this is Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters, from Oz, just in a few film and TV shows. And the members of Carnwood have asked me to thank the Extreme Music Award for their nomination in the category for Best Doom Metal Band.
I'm out of here. I'm done. Yeah.